doing the turnip. Oh, hello. Thank you for joining me for Veg with Lisa Turnip Twirl Live. I'm Lisa. These are my turnips. I'm going to twirl them. Thank you for being here. Please let me know that you're here and that you can see me and that you can hear me by typing in the comments and saying hi so that I know that you're here. And we can all do the turnip twirl together. Since I've seen you last, we celebrated the summer solstice, at least for those of us in the Northern Hemisphere, which is why I have my gardening frock on, because it is indeed now summer. Those of my friends in the southern, Ellie is in the house. Ellie, how are you celebrating the summer solstice up there in the Northern land? Cousin Mildred, speaking of Northern land, tuning in live from Wales. Mildred, did you get your turnips in this year? So it's summer. Rob. Hi, Rob. It's summer, and that's official garden season here in the Northern Hemisphere. Those of you in the Southern Hemisphere, I'm sorry that you're experiencing winter, but you have the added benefit. Oh, Mildred got her turnips in. Yes, you have the added benefit of your days are getting longer and our days are getting shorter. Anyway, look at these beauties. These are turnips, and today I'm going to show you how and why you want to do the turnip twirl. First of all, because they're absolutely delicious. And that's the main reason we do anything here on Veg with Lisa, is because it's fun and it's tasty. The second reason that we want to do the turnip twirl is because these babies are loaded with nutrients. They're really, really good for us. The third reason we want to do the turnip twirl is because they're plants. We need to eat more plants. Annie is in the house. We need to eat more plants to have a healthy gut, to get enough fiber. Basically, we need to eat things like this to live a fun, long, healthy, and delicious twirling life. Okay, I'm exhausted. Let's get started. I'm going to show you 3 ways to do the turnip twirl. So let's get you down here where you can see where all the fun stuff is happening. First of all, check these little babies out. These are indeed little baby turnips. So it's summer here. You might be able to find turnips at your farmer's market, right? That's where I got these. They're kind of like radishes, and that's exactly how I'm going to show you how to enjoy them. Cut the tops off. You can trim the bottom if needed. You could peel this, but I'm not going to. In fact, I recommend you just wash it, especially if it's organic. They don't need to be peeled. Here's another reason to eat turnips and things that come from the ground. In our modern society, most of us don't get enough vitamin B12. Yeah, whether you eat meat or you're plant-based, often we're deficient in B12. Anything that comes from the soil and maybe still has a little bit of the soil on it is good for B12 because we get B12 from dirt. Yes, eat more dirt. Okay, so I've got this little baby turnip out of the ground. I can slice it really thinly like this. Look at that. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Oops, the joys of live television. Mom, you're not supposed to be calling me now. You're supposed to be watching me on Veg with Lisa Live. Anyway, so I've got these beautiful little sliced turnips that I will sprinkle with a little bit of salt and add to my salads just like I would a radish. We'll come back to that. That is way number 1 to enjoy your turnips. Way number 2, I'm so excited about this, is roasty turnips. Roasty turnips. Okay, this is oh gosh, I've got 4 ways. I'm so excited. This is a turnip that I bought from the farmer's market. Now, you'll notice that the greens have already been cut off because I already cut the greens off and ate them, right? So where'd they go? Oh, here they go. Here we go. This is, now we're gonna have to use our imagination, pretend that these are turnips. These are indeed beets, because when I went to the grocery store, they didn't have any turnips with the greens on them like they did at the farmer's market. So I had to buy them I had to buy the beets to show you. But if you are lucky enough to grow your own turnips in your garden like my cousin Mildred, or you can find them at the farmer's market, they'll come like this. So pretend that this is attached to this, okay? So what you want to do when you get home is you chop the greens off and you save them And then you saute these babies with a little bit of garlic and some extra virgin olive oil, and you're gonna eat your turnip greens, okay? So set those aside. Let's get back to these babies for our roasty turnips. You bring them home, you chop the greens off, then when you're ready to roast them, chop that top off. Actually, I've been told you can plant this and it'll grow a turnip. I've never done that, so if you have, you let me know. And trim off maybe the little root end. Now, this is so beautiful, I wouldn't peel it. Remember our vitamin B12 talk? If it's organic and you wash them, especially if it's organic, you don't need to peel these bad boys, right? Then what I do is I cut them into wedges and chunks like this. Put them in a roasting pan that I've just lined with parchment paper for ease of cleanup. Look at this, okay? Turnip chunks. Now, I'll give you a little tip. I like turnips with potatoes. They just go well together. And if you're not quite sure about turnips, a great way to experiment is to mix them with potatoes. Potatoes are a little bit milder. Turnips have a little bit of a bitter flavor. So I will add some potatoes. And by the way, potatoes are good for us. They get such a bad reputation. As long as you're not just eating white potatoes and just eating them in the form of French fries, potatoes have a lot of fiber and a lot of vitamin C. Okay, I'll show you a little trick, another trick. Carrots go really well with turnips too. So this is apparently my white meal. Somebody made a white album, didn't they? Who was that? Somebody must know. Was that Pink Floyd or, I don't know, who made a white album? The Beatles. The Beatles made a white album. Okay, I've got turnips, I've got potatoes, I've got white carrots. This is my white meal. This is my white album. A little bit of salt. Sea salt, it's a whole food. Most of us who have high blood pressure get too much sodium. A little bit of pepper from processed foods, not from the salt shaker. And a teeny little drizzle of extra virgin olive oil. Roasty turnips. Okay, I've got some in the oven. Let me show you. Hold on. Oh, baby, baby, baby. Look at these twirly turnips. Don't those look amazing? Okay, I'm going to set those aside. And I'm going to show you what we're going to do with all of this in a minute. Holy cow, there's a lot of twirling going on around here. Okay, remember this one that I showed you from the farmer's market? Emily is in the house. This is the one from the farmer's market, and this is the one from the supermarket. Nothing wrong with either one of these. This is a purple skinned turnip. You can see one looks a little bit fresher, doesn't it? Which is one reason why, especially in the summer, I'm all about shopping local and seasonal whenever possible from your farmer's market. But there's nothing wrong with getting a turnip from the supermarket. It'll just look like this. So this turnip, you know what? I'd probably give this one a little peel. I'd chop that brown end off and this brown end off. See, it's just a lot more work. And I'm gonna peel this. Okay, so Emily wants to know, is Parker Posey in the house? I don't get it, Emily. Do I look like Parker Posey today, or did she have an affinity for turnips? Oh, Ellie, try slicing turnips and putting them on the grill with a little bit of salt and pepper and really good olive oil. That does sound amazing. Thank you, Ellie. Those Sweat Sisters, they are clever. They are clever. Okay, so that one that came from the supermarket, I'm gonna peel it because I don't know where it came from, right? I don't know what kind of dirt this came out of. You could slice this thinly like Ellie suggested, which I think that's a fantastic idea. Like this, put it on the grill, a little salt and pepper, a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. What I'm gonna do, since I don't have a grill, is cut this in chunks, kind of like I did the roasty turnips, and I've got my little steamer basket. Okay, you guys that are having your own chats outside of the scope of this program, maybe you should take that offline. Parker Posey, just kidding. All are welcome here, even Parker Posey. Okay, so I've got my turnip chunks in my steamer basket. Yeah, and I'm gonna give you a little tip again. Oops, well, I already cut up all my potatoes. Throw a potato in there too. Then steam these bad boys up. And guess what I'm gonna do with them? Put the lid on, put them in the pot. Here's some I did before. Oh, they're still warm. I'm getting a turnip potato facial. So you can see I put a turnip in this pot and I put some yellow potatoes in the pot. You could put some garlic in here. Yes, Emily is my garlic friend. You could put some garlic in here for sure. Especially if you've got some fresh garlic from the farmer's market. It's a lot more subtle flavor. Then I saved a little bit of the steaming liquid, just a little. You notice you don't need any milk or cream or butter. Ay, ay, ay. This is how you get those muscles. It's from doing the turnip twirl. I mash my turnips and my potatoes up. A little bit of salt again. Most of us who have high blood pressure get too much sodium from processed foods, not from the sea salt. Because Mildred, I heard tell you were going to send me some sea salt from Wales. I haven't had that show up yet. Hint, hint. Okay, look at that. Ah, okay, fantastic. So let me show you what we're going to do with this. We are going to have a 4-course turnip lunch. So you're going to have to pretend with me just a little bit because I didn't saute the greens, but we're going to pretend that these are sauteed turnip greens. You guys can use your imagination. Then that's number 1. Then I've got some roasty turnips and potatoes from my white album. Yeah. Then I've got some mashed taters. Rob's gonna be in heaven. He loves mash. Mildred says my sea salt from Wales is on its way. I'm shameless. Oh my goodness, look at this. Then, where are my little raw turnip wedges, my little turnip coins, if you will? Again, just a teeny bit more of that. We can pretend this is Welch sea salt and a little fresh cracked pepper. Of course, you could add a little bit of butter or vegan butter. I'm just going to do a drizzle of olive oil to my mash. And then, because I have an abundance of fresh dill in my garden, and did you know that foods and things that grow together go together? So when dill's in season, turnips are in season, and all the things that go with the herb are in season. Isn't that cool? Like in the summer when basil is in season and tomatoes are in season. Things that grow together go together. I am going to enjoy my 3-course turnip twirl lunch. Turnip greens, roasty turnips, steamed turnips, raw turnips. I forgot to tell you, I got so excited, I forgot to tell you why. Besides the fact that they're delicious and we need them for fiber. They're super good for us, and you know why? Because they actually have 1 cup of raw turnip, which will cook down to like nothing, only has 36 calories. So if you're watching your little waistline, ladies and gents, 2 grams of fiber, 2 grams of fiber in 1 cup of raw turnips. Protein, 1 gram of protein. Here's the kicker, vitamin C. 30% of your daily recommended allowance of vitamin C is in 1 cup of raw turnip. They're delicious. They're good for us. They're plants. They're fiber. It's so fun to do the turnip twirl. Thank you all for twirling with me on Veg with Lisa Live. I'm going to eat my turnips and I'll see you next week.